Rosy friends, it's Julie, and today's video is about how I used makeup to cover my rosacea prone skin to have flawless pale skin like the character Irys Godeleva from the Perspective book series that I write. I was cosplaying for the Fan Expo 2017 in Toronto, Canada, and this is kind of the big deal one. I know that I did cosplay makeup a few weeks ago for the Elmvale Street Festival, but this one is absolutely huge. It has between 1 and 200,000 people attending. This one I really wanted to get right. So I started off with primer, and I covered my entire face, including my eyelids. I really needed all of my makeup to stick. Then I showed you the foundation that I'm going to be using, but I did not use that next. I remembered that I need to use concealer, keeping in mind that this was about 6:30 in the morning, so I was only half awake. And I concealed the dark circles under my eyes with the Essence No Dark Circles. It's kind of a pinky concealer. And then this is the Physicians Formula Green Stick Concealer, and I covered my whole face with it, and that is a beauty blender that is damp. And I'm just blending that out. I'm using layer after layer after layer of makeup to create pretty much a flawless complexion because Irys is extremely flawless looking and I am not. So next I used the Physicians Formula pressed powder, the green corrector one, and spread that over, just dusted it over my entire face. I used that to even out the rest of my face along with the part that I'd already used the concealer so that one wouldn't stand out above the other through the foundation. Next I applied the clean CoverGirl foundation, the liquid. I really like this one. It's not a heavy coverage, but it goes on really nicely over all the concealers that I wear. And then if I put a powder on top, it does a beautiful job of covering any redness or anything else I want to cover. So I used one thin layer over my entire face, and then I did a second thin layer over my face. I find that two very thin layers of this goes a lot better than one thick layer. And then I also did it over my neck and sort of upper chest area as well. Irys does have a high collar, but I just wanted to make sure that I looked even all the way because I have a little bit of blotchiness from sun exposure. And finally, I used the Physicians Formula Loose Talc-Free Powder in the lightest color. I think it's called Translucent Light or something like that. And I use a little kabuki brush to spread that over my entire face as well and my neck, again for the same reason, so that there isn't any little bit of dark sort of, I'm not tan, but I'm just not as pale as I am in the wintertime, if that makes any sense. Then a little bit of sip of coffee. As I said, it is really early in the morning, and that was the only way I could survive. Finally, the NYX, a little bit of a bright pink blush, just to give it the look a little bit of life, because as pale as Irys is, she doesn't look like she's dead. So I dust that over my upper cheeks to give a very youthful look. She's only 18. And then I do a very, whatever's left over on the brush, I dust over my entire face just to make it look like it's all supposed to be there together as opposed to having just pink cheeks. Next, keeping in mind I'm going to be wearing glasses that have purple lenses, so I need the look to stand out very well. I have purple lenses to give the effect of having purple eyes because I can't wear purple contacts. So I start off with a white base and then a very pale, almost lilac color on the eyelid itself. Basically, I'm just doing that so that when I do a darker color, it will actually stand out through the purple lenses later on. The darker color that I picked out, I was really excited about, and I'd done kind of a test run with it, and it's a loose powder. And this is the first time I've ever used a loose powder for an eyeshadow before for cosplay. And then this time when I tried to apply it, I was super disappointed in it. I was so frustrated because it had been beautiful before and it really stood out. But this time just the color payoff was pretty weak, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it was because it was just after 6 in the morning and I wasn't doing something right, but I just ended up backing it up with my e.l.f. Purple eyeshadow and just sort of layered that on top of it and blended it all together. And I really actually was quite satisfied with the look that it gave. So really there was no harm done. Maybe it was better that I had two different colors anyway. I still haven't quite mastered eyeshadow yet. Next I use an eyeliner in purple. It's a dark kind of eggplanty purple, and It's a waterproof eyeliner and a liquid eyeliner, and I'm not good at either one of those things, but I really needed this look to work out. So after a bit of practicing, I did give this one a try, and I wasn't too displeased with the job that I did. I'm surprised at how steady my hand was, especially considering the time of the morning. And then I just did the very outer corners of the bottom eyelid because I knew that I would be filling the rest of it in with a pencil for a softer look on the bottom, but I did want it all to sort of tie together with the color. So I was super careful to do a straight liner line on the top and then just did the outer corner on the bottom. The last time I did a cosplay makeup video, I was asked why I didn't do a cat eye because that would look really, really cool. I totally agree that would look awesome. But one, I've not mastered the cat eye. My eyes, the corners of them don't point in the same direction, so it looks really funny when I do it. Maybe there's a way to do it, I just don't have the skill. But another thing is Irys has a very big-eyed but very simple look. She doesn't actually wear makeup, I do. So I didn't want to give her too much of a dramatic look in terms of makeup because that's not actually her character. But the cat eye was a good idea to the person who suggested it. Next was probably the scariest part of this because I've never used false lashes before, and I decided that on the biggest cosplay day of my year, I would just give it a try for the first time. So I watched a ton of videos to learn how to do it, and this was what I did. First, I wiggled them kind of in between my fingers and stuff to make them a bit more flexible. I was told that that's a really good idea because you want your eyelashes line, the line of it, to be very, very flexible instead of stiff. And then I added a bit of glue and waited around for about 30 seconds for it to get tacky. Then I used the little special tweezy things to set them right down in the middle. And then I used my fingertip and the tweezy things to tap them into place. And I did make sure that they were the right size ahead of time so that they wouldn't be too wide because that looks really strange and apparently is very, very uncomfortable. And I was so proud of myself. I got it first shot. It went directly right against my lash line, just where the eyeliner was. I was so proud of myself. And then I did the exact same thing for the second lash. These aren't hugely dramatic lashes. They were just enough to make my eye just make the whole thing look bigger and sort of make the look pop a little more because it really did need to show up through purple lenses. And I set the second set of lashes into place. Surprised at how comfortable they were. I was expecting it to be a little bit horrific. I'm not even comfortable in my natural lashes, let alone fake ones. But it really worked out, and I loved the look. I felt super pretty, super Irys. And then I just topped up the liner just a little bit just to make sure that it was completely even on both sides, and then went at it with the purple liner on the bottom to complete the look so that it wouldn't be too dark, but that both the upper and lower lashes would really stand out. Then I got all of the makeup and everything off of my eyebrows, and I did dust in a little bit of purple that I didn't show you, so I'm sorry I didn't actually put that on camera. And I topped up my lashes and the artificial lashes with a bit of mascara. Then I added a pale pink, very girly lipstick, which I did not show very well on camera. I'm very sorry about that. By this point, I was running out of time and starting to freak out a bit. But this is one of those 24-hour lipstick that lasts forever, and it has this gloss that goes over top. It's from CoverGirl. It's called Outlast, and I absolutely love it. And that would be the look that I created. I think it's very pretty and pretty flawless, too. So this is actually, I ran out of time, so I couldn't film the whole camera. I couldn't put on camera the whole costume before leaving, but here it is after getting home. This is about 8 or 9 hours later, so my makeup actually lasted really, really well. That's the full length of my dress. Here I am in the wig. You can see the glasses with the purple lenses and all of the kind of Silesian, that's the country that Irys is from, is her Silesian jewelry and things. Very high-necked, very prim. She's got a bodice and a long skirt. The whole thing is velvet. I made a lot of it. I'm super proud of myself. And this was the look that I achieved. I also made this little hat out of an existing hat and pinned a whole pile of other stuff to it to go with the veil, and I thought that was a great look. Here's the Fan Expo. It's one of the 2 buildings with multiple floors. This is just part of it, but that's my co-author, Amanda, and I standing at the Fan Expo in our full costumes. We made both costumes. I made the bustle at the back of hers. I'm super proud of that, too. But that's what the costumes look like from the back with the wigs and everything. And this is us just being cutesy at the Fan Expo again with our fans. And we had a super good time. Thanks to everybody who came up to us and said hello. Thanks for all the praise that you gave us when we were there. That meant so much to us. I was just absolutely floating when we left there. It was so much fun. I felt so good about myself. Thank you so much to everybody who was there. And I hope you liked this video. Those of you who are watching, if you did, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe if you haven't yet. I make new videos every Sunday and Thursday. And other than that, I'll see you next time.